Good evening. At this time, I would like to call to order of the special call school board meeting for the Isle of Wight County Public Schools. Today is Thursday, August the 18th, and the year is 2022. At this time, we will have roll call.
Mr. Vines.
Here.
Mrs. Dial. Hold on a second.
Here. No, leave it.
Okay, Mr. Vines.
Here.
Mrs. Dial. Mrs. Tynes.
Here.
Mr. Cunningham.
Present.
And Mr. Colick.
They all told now. Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. We have 3 members here tonight. At this time, we'll move on to approval for agenda or amendments. Do we have any amendments to the agenda tonight?
No, Madam Chair.
Any amendments? Okay. At this time, we will have a approval of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as it is presented. At this time, we will take a vote.
Mr. Vines.
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes.
Yay.
Mr. Cunningham.
Yay.
Okay, thank you. We need a motion to go into closed session. At this time, we will get a motion to go into closed session from Mr. Cunningham.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed meeting to review the personnel report and addendum posted on board docs under personnel tab number 10.1 as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1 for purposes of discussion and consideration of prospective candidates of Isle of Wight Public Schools for employment, contract changes, transfers, supplemental contracts, bus driver, perfect attendance for second semester, and resignations of Isle of Wight County Public Schools employees, and to discuss the appointment of the school board deputy clerk as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1, and to discuss the appointment of the superintendent of Isle of Wight County Public Schools as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into closed session. If there is no discussion at this time, we will take a vote.
Mr. Vines.
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes.
Yay.
Mr. Cunningham.
Yay.
All right. At this time, we're going to go into closed session, but it should be a very short one tonight. Thank you. Okay. At this time, we will reconvene into open session and get a certification of resolutions of compliance.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that the closed meeting was conducted in conformity with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as required by Section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia, and certify that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements were discussed, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. At this time, we need a
Second.
second. We have a motion and a second. At this time, we will take a vote.
Mr. Vines,
Yay.
Mrs. Dial,
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes,
Yay.
and Mr. Cunningham.
Yay.
All right, thank you. Vote 4-0. Thank you. Okay. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone that came out this evening. This is a special meeting of the Wight County School Board, and today is Thursday, August the 18th. And it's special for many reasons. And one is a very important reason that we will find out later and on our agenda. And again, I would like to welcome you. Thank you. At this time, we will have Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence led by our Vice Chair, Mr. Cunningham.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will have a report from the superintendent, Acting Superintendent, Dr. Coleman. Acting Superintendent, Dr. Coleman. Dr. Coleman?
Thank you, Madam Chair, school board members. Wanted to bring to your attention a summer hiring authority. Now, at this current time, anytime that we are trying to hire employees close to the season ending, that's the season right before school starts, what we have to do is wait all the way until the next board meeting. And what that does is slow the process down to the extent that some of the individuals that we're trying to hire are still seeking employment. So if they are offered jobs by other divisions, they'll take those jobs instead of coming to work for IWCS. So what I'm looking for is for vacant position for which the contract date has commenced prior to the effective hire date and subject to final approval of the school board, is being able to hire those individuals until September 8th. And so summertime hiring is what I'm looking for, be able to, every summer, in between school board meetings, the superintendent or the acting superintendent has the authority to hire teachers and staff members, bus drivers, everyone, to keep the county moving forward, to keep the division moving forward.
Okay.
So that is my recommendation for the board.
Okay.
Are there any questions concerning it?
No.
Did you all understand? You have any discussion or any questions?
No.
Okay, if not, this is an action item.
I'd like to make a motion that this,
Mr. Cunningham, you can do the second. Mr. Cunningham has the exact motion, okay?
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that the school board authorize the acting superintendent and/or the superintendent to hire personnel for vacant positions for which the contract date has commenced prior to the effective hire date and subject to the final approval of the school board at its monthly meeting.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. At this time, we will take a vote.
Mr. Vines,
Yay.
Mrs. Dial,
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes,
Yay.
and Mr. Cunningham.
Yay.
Thank you. I guess I better explain to the audience the little motion we just did. If some of you know our history, we try to make sure we get everything within state codes, okay? So the vice chair will normally read the motions. So we would know we will cover every word we need to cover, because if we miss like if we do not dot the I or cross the T, someone's subject to have us in court, okay? So that way, if Mr. Cunningham reads the motion, we know we got it right. Thank you very much. Mr. Vines, thank you for the second, okay? All right, the next action tonight is the actions on closed session items. And that is an action item as well.
Madam,
Any discussion before you make a motion? Any discussion? All right.
okay. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel report and addendum as presented and discussed in closed session, a copy of which can be obtained from the school board clerk, if anyone wants one.
I'd like to second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the school board, the personnel addendum as it was presented. At this time, we will take a vote.
Yay.
Mr. Vines.
Yay.
Mrs. Dial.
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes.
Yay.
And Mr. Cunningham.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Vote 4-0. Thank you. We have another action item, and that is to appoint a school board deputy clerk.
Okay. Madam Chair, school board members, the appointment of the school board deputy clerk. I am requesting, I will make a recommendation to the school board members for the deputy clerk due to the position being vacant, effective August 23rd, 2022.
Okay. Did you hear the report coming from Dr. Coleman? Any discussion?
No discussion from me.
Okay, at this time, we need
And
an
Madam
action.
Chair,
Oh,
okay, the name is Crystal Briggs.
Okay.
She said I must say the name. So the recommendation for the school board members for deputy clerk will be Crystal Briggs.
Okay.
thank you, Dr. Coleman.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Crystal Briggs as school board deputy clerk effective August 23rd, 2022 through December 31st, 2022.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that we would appoint Ms. Crystal Briggs as the school board deputy clerk effective August the 23rd, 2022 through December the 31st, 2022. At this time, we will take a vote.
Mr. Vines.
Yay.
Mrs. Dial.
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes.
Yay.
And Mr. Cunningham.
Yay.
Thank you. Vote 4-0. Passes. Welcome, Mrs. Briggs. Okay. At this time, there is a report that's going to come from the board. And I will be reading a resolution. But prior to that, I think it was March that we pretty much started the search for the next leader of Wight County Public Schools. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it was an easy one. No, it was not easy. And this is the second time I have been involved in one of those searches. And I guess each time, it's the times that we're living in now, things have changed, and it can be a little, tear-jerking sometimes, tedious, all of those things. We've had a lot of moments together, meeting, making decisions, and we finally, the board, we all worked together, and we decided on who we wanted to lead Wight County Public Schools. And at this time, I'm going to ask any of the board members, Mr. Vines, Mrs. Dowd, or Mr. Cunningham, if they would like to say anything about that before I read a resolution, about your time as far as being on that search committee. Okay, good. See, I told you we worked together. All right, at this time, I would like to read a resolution. I would like to introduce a resolution appointing the superintendent for Wight Public Schools. Whereas there is a vacancy in the office of division superintendent And whereas the school board wishes to appoint Dr. Theo Kramer as Division Superintendent for a term commencing August 22nd, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2026. Now, therefore be it resolved that Dr. Theo L. Kramer is appointed Division Superintendent for a term commencing August the 22nd, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2026, and be it further resolved that the chairman and the clerk are authorized to execute an employment agreement with Dr. Kramer for a term commencing August the 22nd, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2026, a copy of which is attached to this resolution. At this time, we need a second.
Madam Chair, I second the resolution.
We have a resolution and we have a second to this resolution, and at this time, we will take a vote on the resolution.
Mr. Vines.
Yay.
Mrs. Dial.
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes.
Yay.
And Mr. Cunningham.
Definitely yay.
Isle of Wight County School Board, all of us sitting here, we are so proud to present to the citizens of Isle of Wight County, Dr. Theo Kramer. Dr. Kramer. And we have Mrs. Kramer with Dr. Kramer this evening. And for those of you that are listening in, Mrs. Kramer is an educator as well. Dr. Kramer, would you like to say anything? Okay.
There's no mic up there.
That's all right. He's an educator. His voice will carry.
Yes, it will. My wife often tells me I
Wait.
Hold up a second. They said they're going to bring your mic.
am ready to see everyone. Thank y'all for coming out this evening. Thank you so very much. Good evening, board members. Great to see you all again. Should I just hold it off a little bit? There we go. All right, perfect. That's okay. That's all right. Board members, great to see you all again. And Isle of Wight, it's great to meet you all as well. I am humbled, I am grateful, I am honored to be selected as your next superintendent. And I wish to extend a tremendous thank you to you, the board. This is one of your most significant responsibilities. I know you didn't take it lightly. And I had a chance to meet you all several months ago through this grueling process. So I want to thank you for your vote of confidence in me, for the trust you have bestowed to me. And I want you to know, and I want Isle of Wight to know, that I do not take this significant responsibility lightly. I'm a lifelong educator. I know the importance of this work. This is life-altering work that we're engaged in, and you've selected me as your leader. I also know that you cannot do this work alone. No one can. I can't. And I vow to you that I will be working with each one of you individually and collectively as an entity, board members, to ensure that we continue to build upon the solid foundation that is in place. So each one of you, Chair Tynes, Vice Chair Cunningham, board members Colleague, Dial, and Vines, thank you all tremendously. And if I may, Chair Tynes, I want to thank a few people as well.
Okay.
But before that, I want to also say to this community, I am a consensus builder. I pride myself on being a servant leader, as I shared with the board when we were interviewing. And I vow that I will work to build bridges. I will work to build relationships. I will work to make certain that we work with the community in its entirety. Our board members, our board of supervisors, my fellow educators I've had a chance to meet quite a few of you as of the last few hours, and certainly the community at large. I can't wait to get started. But I need to thank a few of you, and I want to start with you, Chair Tynes. Once you all made this very tough decision, and once I was brought on board, you have been nothing but supportive to both me and to my wife. And I want to thank you personally on behalf of my family. And I want to thank you on behalf, all of you on behalf of Isle of Wight as well, because the work that you've done is really important work. I also want to thank this young man, our acting superintendent, and let's give him a round of applause as well. Had a chance to interact with Dr. Coleman. He is just a first-rate individual. And I want to thank you on behalf of the school system, sir, all the work that you've done throughout this transition process. And I'm absolutely looking forward to working with you. And we all owe you a debt of gratitude. And last but certainly not least, the people who are most important to me, my dear family. And I would not be here if not for my wife, who is my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader, and she always sits in the back and takes no credit for anything. But I want to thank you publicly for all that you have done and just being an incredible partner. Thank you for the love and support. I appreciate you, I love you, and thank you. And also our daughters who couldn't be here, they're both college students, and because of their work and because of their internship opportunities, I'm sure they're looking back in Maryland. Thank you, your mother and I. We love you, ladies. Thank you for your support as well. I can go on, but I won't. I just want to say thank you all again. Isle of Wight, I can't wait to meet you all. I can't wait to work with you all. I am looking forward to getting started, and I will see you in just a few days. So thank you, and I will see you very, very soon. Thank you.
Some of you were probably wondering, well, they gave his name, they read the resolution, but he told you a little bit about himself, personal things. At this time, board member Mrs. Dowell, Renee Dowell, will give you a little bio about Dr. Kramer.
They gave me a bio, it looks like a little dissertation. So. Okay. But as a public educator in the state of Maryland for 30 years, Theo Kramer has worked in many distinct roles in the field of education. He has served as a teacher, coordinator, assistant principal, principal, director, executive director, and most recently he served as a community superintendent in the Howard County Public School System. During his career, he has served as a school-based leader and as a central office leader. He has worked at both the middle and high school levels as a teacher. He has also served as a high school assistant principal and a high school principal at Laurel High School in Prince George County, Maryland. As a teacher, he taught both special education and advanced placement courses at the high school level. At the central office level, he served as a director, executive director, and community superintendent of different departments and divisions, academic support, student services, college and career readiness, career technical education, human resources, and school management and instructional leadership. Theo has worked in 3 school systems during his 30-year career. He has worked in rural, suburban, and urban districts. He has also worked in different sized school systems. He has worked in the Prince George's County Public School System, the St. Mary's County Public School System, and the Howard County Public School System. He has earned his bachelor's degree of arts from South Carolina State University in political science and pre-law. He earned his master's of arts degree in administration and supervision from Bowie State University, and he earned his doctorate in educational and organizational leadership from the University of Pennsylvania. He has always been an active member in the community. He has served on numerous boards and committees as both a member and an officer. The boards and committees include the United Way, the Human Relations Commission, the Literacy Council, Alternatives for Families and Youth, the Principals Association, the Human Services Council, the Task Force on Elimination of the Achievement Gap, the Building Trades Foundation, the University of Pennsylvania's Graduate School of Education, Mid-Career Advisory Council, and the University of Pennsylvania's GSE Alumni Council. Theo has also served as an adjunct faculty member at St. Mary's College of Maryland in St. Mary's County, Maryland, and at McDaniel College in Westminster, Maryland. Theo and his wife Galen, is it Galen? Who is also an educator, are the proud parents of two daughters, Gabrielle and Charlize, who are both in college. They currently reside in Laurel, Maryland.
Thank you. Okay, again, welcome, Dr. Crank. We'll move on to board members' requests and comments. Any requests or comments? Okay. No requests and comments at this time. This meeting is adjourned. You all travel safe.